Hello, and welcome to the Franchise Connection, where we're never short on aliases or disguises. I'm Matt Fisher.
I'm Matt Sparrow.
And today we're discussing the first film in the Fletch series with, what else? Fletch. Fletch, based on a novel by Gregory MacDonald, is about Irwin M. Fletcher, or Fletch, Chevy Chase, who's an investigative reporter working in LA. While covering a story about drug trafficking on the beach, he's approached by a businessman named Alan Stanwyk, Tim Matheson, who offers Fletch $50,000 to kill him. Alan explains that he's dying of bone cancer and wants Fletch to murder him in order for his wife to get a large insurance payout. However, Fletch is highly suspicious about all of this and pushes off his beach assignment to investigate Alan's story. From here, Fletch begins looking into Alan's medical records and finances, which makes him realize there's more to the story than he first thought. Along the way, Fletch also meets Alan's wife, Gail, Dana Wheeler Nicholson, who he gradually grows close to while gathering more information on Alan's duplicity and illicit actions. As Fletch gets closer to the truth, he'll uncover a vast web of lies and deceit and encounter numerous people who intimidate him to cease his investigation. However, Fletch isn't one to back down and will use his quick thinking and ingenuity to print the story, as long as he can get the article in before his deadline hits. Alright, man. So, it's the first comedy series.
Yeah.
How'd you like it?
I really enjoyed it. Granted, I enjoyed the first Fletch movie we saw with John Hamm, the remake, Confess Fletch. So I wanted to go back to see these original ones. Chevy Chase.
Confess Fletch was our introduction to the character, and we just liked what we saw. It was fun, kind of wacky, investigative journalism story, and with some high stakes to it. But we always kind of had the idea of going back to seeing what started this, like why would they want to do a reboot of this series? What about it was fun and special?
Yeah,
and I same here. I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun. It's always kind of fun getting a time capsule movie like this from the 80s where we see what jokes hold up, which jokes maybe don't hold up as much. A little references that I might picked up might go over people's heads nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially younger viewers who are watching this going like, what's Dynasty?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But this is something I have to say, like, watching this kind of missed that we still get, but not to the same extent of, these big, fun comedy movies. And I feel like nowadays we still get them theatrically, but
not nearly to the same
they're
level.
mostly to relegate to streaming or lower the releases, if you will.
Most recent one I can think of was the Naked Gun remake.
Yeah, that's true, and that was really good, and I'm hoping that we get more of that. But so there's just something fun about getting to watch a movie like this that feels like they still make it, but like not to the extent that they used to.
Yeah.
Plus, it's an 80s comedy, and there's always something fun to enjoy about those.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the jokes were just all over the place. Not in a bad way.
I found myself cracking up way more than I thought I was going to throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. Especially
from anything from Chevy Chase's making Irwin Fletcher having pseudonyms for himself, or his disguises.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I knew going into this movie he was a reporter, because I don't remember in Confess Fletch if he did disguises as much. I think he probably used aliases.
Yeah, he used aliases.
He used different names, but I don't remember him dressing up in wacky disguises, and I think that's part of the charm of this movie, just seeing Chase kind of like pick on these different personas while following leads and building up the story. But yeah, it was also like different too, because I feel like I'm so used to seeing Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's vacation movies or from Community. So this role seemed to give him a little bit more to do than those other ones, where it's just like he's playing the same character throughout most of the time. It was various level of comedy, but in terms of like character personality, there's way more with Fletch than maybe there is with
which makes sense. Actually, I should say it makes sense that this movie is Chevy Chase's favorite movie he ever made.
Yeah, I saw that. I read that too. Yeah, because they said it's kind of closest to his personality or something. I
guess.
Like that. Yeah.
I'm just like, okay. I guess it also gave him more to do. And
yeah, because you definitely see this in the movie. It was fun too. I didn't realize it was based on a book. I thought this was an original idea.
Yeah, I knew it was based on a book. I haven't read the books, so...
Do you know anything about it? You didn't do your homework for this movie. You're supposed to read the whole book before we watch the film, man. You did it for Poe.
Poe's short stories. That's easy.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It kind of makes me want to go and check out those novels maybe one day.
There's like 9 of them.
I mean, I can see that because, him being a reporter, getting these different cases and assignments, I could see how it can continuously go and go with a news story.
I will say this. I did do some research on the books. His editor in the books is a woman.
Okay, interesting.
And she does not like his definition of what a deadline is.
That's kind of why I went to my intro. Yeah. I wanted to put that there because he's very lax about. I'll get the story in a time. It's like, well, we haven't. There's a part where he's like, we have an ad in the paper that
we have to run.
Yeah, we already said you're going to do a story. It's like, don't worry, I'll get it done.
It'll be done.
Yeah. But this is a fun aspect of this movie that I could just sit back and laugh at, get a good story along the way. I sometimes feel like part of the story could have been a little better, but I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But you want to just jump into it?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure, why not?
Also, being an age movie, I do like that for PG, because it's the way it was at the time. Yeah, they stretched the PG limit.
Very much.
Because it's a lot of implications.
A lot of implications and a lot of language that wouldn't be in most PG movies nowadays.
They said a couple curse words.
Yeah.
Okay. So when the movie starts, we were both kind of dancing in our seats because it opens up with a really catchy song.
Yeah.
But Fletch gets his own theme song. It's called Bit by Bit.
Yeah.
And I looked a little bit at the music video, and this is something so fun and silly about what's going on in the music video seems to have nothing to do. It's just like clips of the movie put into it. But I kind of, to me, that's what they don't make anymore. They don't make like those music videos that way.
It reminds me of, in some ways, it reminds me of Shaft.
Yeah, exactly.
Having his own theme song.
Yeah, but
that's catchy.
Shaft is cool. This one's kind of wacky.
Very 80s synth soundtrack.
But I miss kind of getting that original theme song for a movie, and the credits are just playing alongside it, and it's just fun. It's catchy, and it kind of sets the tone for what the movie's going to be.
Oh,
it's
100%.
not going to take itself seriously, and in some ways, it kind of introduces you to Fletch and who he is. But yeah, really good song. Check it out. It's stuck in my head afterwards. And then after this theme song plays, we introduce to Fletch over narration, who tells us that he's an investigative reporter working in LA. He uses a pseudonym, or a different Jane Doe. Which I thought that was interesting. I thought he would, I guess it helps if he's an undercover reporter.
Yeah.
Investigative, that he wouldn't use his real name.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And we discover that he's doing a story, that this drug's running rampant on the beach, and he wants to know who's behind it, who's supplying it. And we get some fun characters that we meet. One's, was it Fat Sam?
Fat Sam. Okay. I'm trying to think. Fat Sam was the dealer.
Mm-hmm. Was he Norm from Cheers?
I don't know.
Yeah, George Wendt. So it was Norm. So I was right.
No!
Yeah, which I thought was kind of cool.
But yeah, he's like one of the major ones, and then there's the junkie.
Yeah, the kid.
There's the junkie kid and the homeless.
Yeah, he kind of pops in and out. He kind of shows up when he needs to. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, now we got that underway. So there's something that the movie opens up with narration, and it tells you, I'm Fletch. I'm an investigative reporter. Yeah. I'm investigating this problem of drugs running rampant. And then he goes as he's going up to the different characters who are on the beach. There's also a line I like, which I kind of feels like established in the movie, where Sam says to Fletch, "Is everything a joke to you, Fletch?" And I thought that kind of that's who he is. Everything he doesn't take anything seriously.
No, he really doesn't.
Except getting a story. That's the only thing he takes seriously. Everything else is just kind of whatever. He's nonchalant about it, but he's determined to find out who's behind this. And he knows Sam is his way to finding out who the supplier is.
Yeah.
At the same time, we see a guy with binoculars, and he's spying on Fletch, and he approaches him under the boardwalk, and gives him an offer, and he tells him, "I'll give you $1,000 to come to my house, and you can keep $1,000 if you want." Which is funny because that money comes back later on.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting. This is the first time we get one of his aliases. Ted Nugent is the first one he uses, and he kind of, after listening to his offer, is like, "Okay, fine," and he takes him to his house. This guy's Alan Stanwyk, this mysterious businessman.
Mysterious businessman, millionaire, person who we don't know much about.
No.
But we learn more about throughout the movie.
It's almost like, because like he's telling you all this stuff he just meant to take at face value, what he's saying. And that's what Fletch is. He has a nose for news, and he knows that there's more to what this guy's saying, especially just by looking at him.
He says he asks him to kill him for...
Well, even before that, like, I thought... It's, like, Fletch is, like, coming into his office, and he's, like, saying joke after joke. Did you feel like the jokes, like, at those times, you're like, okay, I get it. Did you feel like there was too much when the rambling like that? Or
Not really.
That's just part of his personality?
I think it was part of his personality, and I found most of the jokes really, really funny. I don't think any joke, like, really fell too flat for me.
No, they were very quick. I think that's what the thing was. They weren't trying too hard either. I think that's what made it work pretty well. Especially the way Chase delivers it. It's all very deadpan and not trying to be, like, exaggerated. He's just kind of like... And that scene also reminded me a little bit of The Big Lebowski. Because you got this slub guy in this very, fancy and upscale, getting this offer to do something, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, no problem. And I thought it was cool is that, like, this movie, like, the narration made me think too, like, it's like a noir, but it's bright. It's very sunny. It's not like hiding stuff, but it has an aspect of a noir too.
Yes.
It's just replacing the detective with
an investigative reporter. And making it a little bit more comedy toned.
So something I thought was interesting was that he brings Fletch to the office because he thinks he's a junkie.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, here's this random guy. Nobody knows who he is. He's probably, down on his luck, has nobody, no attachments, family, friends, and I can use him for my plan.
Yeah.
My thing was, the narration, I get what was part of it, what they were going for. I feel like if they didn't have that narration, it would have been more of a surprise. Because if you take out that narration...
Or have the narration after.
Later, like once he gets back to the office, it would have been like, we see this guy on the beach, he's looking for drugs, you're like, oh, okay, so what's this going to be about? This guy it makes you think, is this movie going to be about this junkie hired to kill this guy, he gets caught in a murder conspiracy, and then you go to the office, you're like, oh, he's a reporter, interesting, what does that mean? I think it would have given you more of a surprise. I think the narration took away a little bit of that by introducing you right away to who he is.
I guess.
Yeah. Did you feel the same way, or did you?
I think the narration worked, especially for the tone they were going for.
Yeah, but do you feel like it took away a bit of a surprise to...
Maybe a little bit, but not much.
Because I think, like, if I was watching and I didn't know he was a reporter right away, I would have been like, oh, where's the story going? But maybe they felt it might have been, like, too...
It would have been a little too dark.
Sharp turn. Well, a sharp turn. And I was like, now he's a reporter, so I guess maybe... And then I guess maybe that's him controlling the situation. I don't know. It was just a thought I had while I was watching it. But anyway, yeah, so he tells Fletch, oh, I want to hire you. I'll give you $50,000 to kill me. I'm dying of bone cancer. And he says, my company that I work for has a big insurance policy on me. And Fletcher's like talking to him. It's like, well, if it's that bad, he goes, first of all, he doesn't think he looks that sick. But second of all, he's like, well, it hasn't set in yet. So I'm still healthy enough looking wise. I'm just not dying from the disease.
They're like, they said in a month I'd be dying.
And it shows how inquisitive he is. I mean, it's what to say he has those deductive skills to like a Sherlock Holmes or whatever. I'm not comparing Fletch to Sherlock Holmes, but the fact he has that skill set is there.
He's observant.
And then he's talking about like, he goes, well, if it's that bad, why don't you just like, take care of yourself? He goes, well, I can't do that because I won't get insurance money. And apparently it's like a big, big sum on his life. But I thought it was interesting how the film, especially like the script, Andrew Bergman's script, like has Alan already have this very intricate plan in place. Every part of his plan is already laid out. He knows what he needs to do. And I thought that was kind of interesting, rather than just like play along and see where it goes. Like, no, we know what the trajectory of it will be. Especially like he goes, I'll give you the money. Yeah, you could go to LA. I'll give you the tickets.
You could go to South America and
you can use. He has a gun. He goes, you can use it. There's no trace to it, and it's nice back and forth.
Just bring gloves.
Yeah, and I like that line where he goes, well, he talks about like, I can't. I have to rent my rubber gloves. Yeah. I don't buy them, and that's just I like how that kind of Fletch is kind of like playing everything off. Like it's almost, I guess, in a way like a little bit of a Columbo type thing where he's playing an idiot, so people don't know that he's actually putting the truth together, or the clues together. Actually, not looking back, the Rio thing that comes into play later too. It goes like, oh, you take a car to LAX and then you go to Rio, and boom, done. I don't know about you, but like I thought there was like a little bit of like kind of Hitchcock suspense,
a little bit
aspect to it. Like this regular guy gets roped into this big thing. I'm not saying that it's at the height of a Hitchcock movie, but it has those aspects to it, especially with the noir to it. And then we cut to the office, where we see Fletch in his, working in his,
in his office? Or?
No, he's not office. In his, can't think. Whatever. And we see Fletch at the office.
Yeah.
Where we meet all the other people that work in the newsroom. And
Gina Davis.
I really liked her, so I want to go on a little bit of tangent about this. I liked her with Chase. I wish she had more scenes.
Same here.
I don't know, because this was 85, and I'm probably should have done more research, but like I don't know what she had done up to that point, because I know like late 80s, 90s, she was a very popular name, but I really wish she was like kind of on with Fletch on more of the case. She only popped up here and there, but
she showed up like 3 or 4 scenes,
and she and
Chase had that like
they had a good
chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely. Like seeing them look at the microfiche and getting information about Alan Stanwyk and trying to kind of find out who he is. I really like those moments, and I'm just every time they showed up together, I'm like, can we just get more of that? Because Jane Davis has like kind of like that, like the Lois Lane, like even at Jimmy Olsen, like I can't wait to get that story. I want by this
I would have wondered if they'd made a Superman movie in the 90s. Gina Davis would have been Lois Lane.
I think she would have been a good choice. Oh, yeah. I don't know who was supposed to be in the Superman Lives movie, but it would have been interesting to see her and Nick Cage as Superman and Lois. It would have been a very 90s movie.
Yes, it would have.
But yeah, I like Gina Davis a lot. I wish we got a lot more from her character. But yeah, he goes to the office, and his editor is kind of annoyed because he's like,
you're supposed to be giving me this story. Why are you taking a detour?
And he's like, I have a bigger story that's even better. I'll take care of it.
I'll get the beach story.
Yeah. But like his editor is just kind of like, I like too that his editor wasn't like, kind of how we saw with like the Bad Boys movies with like the angry captain all the time going like, you're reckless. Like he kind of like listened to him. He was just always annoyed by him. That like, I know you're a good reporter, but like you don't take advantage of your notoriety and your ability to tell good stories get in the way of like actually producing.
Also, his expense report towards the end of the movie
was funny.
Really funny.
I thought it was good. I like how
that was necessary.
Yeah. Especially with like a lot of things were set up and they always come back. But yeah, so he works with Gina Davis's character, whose name I'm forgetting.
Larry.
Was it Larry? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They'll look at the microfiche and they're investigating about Alan, and they find out that he was a pilot who made into an aviation family.
Yes. Which means he was poor, married, rich.
Yeah, and then as they go through trying to get the connection with the cancer diagnosis, they find an article that he was at a cancer benefit.
So Fletch goes to the hospital
to see his doctor.
To see Alan's doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And try and get the lowdown.
And that's when we get the second alias that he's done with Babar.
Babar.
Babar. It's not Babar? I think I always called it Babar. So that was a good, and I like too, because like how the doctor's like, the elephant? And he's like, and there's a joke that he says, he goes like, no children? He goes like, no elephant books about his life or whatever. The joke's better in the movie. Yeah. I didn't write it down correctly in my notes. But, he's talking to him. He's trying to get more information. He's talking, and that talking to the doctor leads him to go to the tennis club.
Well, not before that. He breaks into the hospital.
Well, I'll get to that. Yeah. But like he's talking and he's they're connected to a tennis club. That's the next place I'm gonna have to go. Yeah. And they joke about like, oh, Mrs. Smith. He's like, which one? He's like, you know. And this is what I mean. The next part where it's like, oh, if it's an 80s movie, you kind of they usually had scenes like this where he has to get a prostate exam because it's an 80s movie, and in the 80s movie those are funny, even in the 90s.
I mean, they're still funny.
It's like a go-to joke, but like, and then he's touching the Moon River as the doctor's talking. He's again rambling on jokes. It's just, I wonder how many of the jokes Chase was improvising. Yeah. I have to assume some of it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because some of them just feel like that of the moment. And after that's all done, he's still in the hospital, and he's like deciding.
Well, let me go to the records room.
Yeah. And then there's a funny back and forth where they're like, he's talking to the nurse and trying to get to the records room, and he's like, "Oh, Dr. Rosenheit and Dr. Rosen. Oh, I'll be right back." And he goes down to the hospital records room to get the information.
It's in B2.
Yeah. And I also, like, he's talking to the nurse, he has a stethoscope, and he's like, "What?" And he's putting up to her mouth. And I like, too, that, like, they show how he's a good investigative reporter, but he knows how to get in and out of places easily.
Yeah.
Even without disguises sometimes. Because, like, the way he got to the records room was very smooth. It wasn't like, it was bumpy for comedic reasons, but he can get in and out easily.
Yeah.
And we see that constantly in the movie. And that's actually, I think, the first disguise we see when he
dresses up as a doctor.
Yeah.
And
he stops by the morgue.
And the guy's like, Can you hold the spleen for me?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's like, don't worry, the guy doesn't need it anymore. And then he like faints at what he's seeing. And then, convenient enough, the records room is right by the morgue. I thought it was fun.
It was pathology.
Oh, it's pathology. Okay. So he wakes up in the office and he's talking to the nurse, and he sees that the doctor that he was just talking to is having the weirdest lunch break. I wonder how many doctors want to go down to see, like, surgery being done. The guy's
seeing a spleen being weighed.
He's like, he has a cup of coffee in his hand, he has like a pastry or something in his other hand, and he's just laughing at what like he's seeing. But Fletch is like, oh no, like I can't let him see him, and he's like talking to the nurse. So he's like, I'll get me a bag of hyperventilating. And then he goes and he gets the file, and then he's looking at the file, and he actually ends up talking to the nurse because the nurse still thinks he's a doctor, and he realized that Alan, he had 2 moles removed, and they were benign. There's no cancer at all in him.
This is the first sign that Alan's lying about everything.
Yeah. So like this is kind of like if 2 boxes that Fletch has to check about the story is his medical information. Now he knows he's not dying of cancer. Check. We know that he's lying about that. If he's lying about that, he might be lying about his finances. But before that can happen, I also like too as he's leaving, again to show kind of a troublemaker he is. He walks by the pathology and he like pops the brown bag they use, and they drop the spleen, and it's like I don't know if he's gonna use it, but he's just being a wise guy.
Yep.
And from there we go to the tennis club, which introduces us to a recurring joke that I really like throughout the movie.
Yes.
Even to the end of the film. And so he goes to the tennis club and meets Alan's wife, Gail, and he comes up with I forgot what the name was, but John, it was some long name.
Yes.
But what kind of name is that? He's like, it's Scotch Romanian, my parents were like that. It was like, it's not with the C. Yeah.
I forget.
It was so long I couldn't even write it down. But it was funny. And then, he's teaching her how, even before that,
he tells the
he's waiting to talk to Gail,
and he talks to the guy at the tennis club, and he's like
the waiter,
and he's like, I'm with the Underhills,
a name I won't forget, and he's
like, get me a.
Well, the reason he's like, get me a Bloody Mary, a steak sandwich, and another steak sandwich, and put it in the Underhills bill. And the reason he does that is, I feel like it's also like, this is a trope that like people still do in movies today, but like Mr. Underhill's a very snooty guest. He goes, he's like mad about like the meal that he was getting, so it's just Chase. It
was giving him his comeuppance.
Yeah, exactly. And so he goes, I'll just put in the Underhill bill. I'm their guest, no problem. And it's like, okay, no problem. Then he goes up to Gail. He's asking about Alan. and at the same time he's like coaching her how to play tennis, and
his wife says that Alan is in Utah.
Yeah, it's like and it's trying to find out why would he be in Utah? Like,
what does that mean? First of all, if he's in Utah, how did I meet him just yesterday?
Oh, so when you talked to her, he wasn't supposed to be in LA.
Right.
Oh, he was supposed to be okay. That puts me.
So that made me like question. Okay, if he's lying to his wife about this,
what else is
he lying about? And then I'm like, also, what does this have to do with the drugs on the beach? Because I knew something was going to come up.
Yeah, and it does. We find out like where that goes.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I did pick up that part, and then Fletch is joking about like about being in Utah too, and then from there he's like, oh okay, so some more information that's telling me that there's more to the story. And then he goes to meet it was his father-in-law, right?
Yes.
At Boyd Aviation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with another disguise.
Yeah, with another disguise. He played an SEC officer or agent. And it's funny because like he has like a breathe rate strip, but it's instead of being on the notes underneath it, so he has a nasally voice, and he's talking about it, and the guy's kind of like annoyed because he's like, oh, we're up on books and everything, and he's asking about Alan and the money, and Mr. Boyd, I guess.
Yeah.
Says, oh, Alan has no stock and he has no money. You know,
everything was my daughter's.
Yeah, and she put up the money for him to get the house in Utah.
Right.
And he's like, oh, interesting. And this, I forget how it came up, but it just made me laugh. Where like he's looking at Mr. Boyd, and again, I'm saying
how much was the money again? It was.
Oh, it was like 3,000. It was like.
It was 300. I thought it was 300,000 for the ranch.
Yeah. Yeah.
What they thought, at least.
Yeah, well, when he finds the deed later on.
Yeah.
But as he's talking information from, I'm calling Mr. Boyd. I'm pretty sure it's Boyd Aviation.
Yeah, it was Boyd Aviation.
Okay. But I forgot how it came up, but like he's just looking at him and he just goes, "God, I admire you," and it just leads to a very awkward moment before he leaves. So I just thought it was kind of funny. It's like just like little moments like that kind of really made me chuckle. And then they get the name Jim Swarthout, and we find out that's Alan's real estate agent.
Right.
And that
so that causes Fletch to go to Utah to investigate the Utah property.
Yeah, and then that's really good. What leads the whole story kind of breaks open. But then he gets it from the secretary, who's like, you know, he I think that's just cool about Fletch, and it's just like he knows how to get information without trying too hard. He just kind of naturally is able to get people to talk to him. I mean, that's what makes him
because he's a very personal person.
Absolutely, and especially when you're in disguise. The second disguise. I forget what the name he used though. I don't think I wrote that one down. Yeah, I know he used a different name, but I forget what it was. So technically, that was like the third alias. Yeah.
Then he goes home, and that's when the $1,000 comes back.
Yeah. So we find out that he's divorced, and his wife needs alimony from him. It's funny, like that whole scene, kind of like you thought that would be bigger.
More of a bigger thing.
Yeah.
I think it, based on what I read from the first book, it's a bigger thing in the book.
It seemed like it, because like why would you bring up like him? Like it makes sense. Like you have the lawyer here. That's why he's like getting the money because he needs to pay for this. But it just felt like it was like a small detail that could have been expanded on a lot more. You know, I like too how he's trying to avoid the lawyer because he's the car.
Yeah, he sees the car and he goes up the service entrance.
Yeah, the fire escape.
The fire escape.
Which second movie we watched with the fire escape actually.
Backfires massively.
Yeah, because the lawyer standing right there. He's like, I knew where you were gonna be. And then he's talking to the lawyer and there was a line I thought was funny where he's like, oh, well, he goes, my wife was, you know, sleeping with everybody. She was fooling around. And he jokes like, she might have even been sleeping with my lawyer. But there's also a joke, reference where he's like, oh, I got Publishers Clearinghouse. Maybe I won. No, I didn't. But yeah, we find out that he owes like $918 in alimony. And so the $1,000 he got from Stanwyk, he's able to pay it.
Yeah. And put the rest towards...
Yeah.
to the next month.
Yeah. So he has some cover.
And he's like, and buy yourself a sandwich.
Yes, it's a. And I like, too, that, like, when we see his apartment... I like seeing his apartment. We didn't see that enough. It kind of has his personality.
Like, basically, he's there for, like, 2 scenes.
Yeah, but I like kind of showed his character and personality through the house. It's like, he's messy, he's lazy, but, his mind's all over the place because he's always thinking of, like...
And lots of basketball. Lots of Lakers.
Yes, yeah, he loves the Lakers. He brings it up all the time in the first scene of the movie.
Yeah.
He's wearing a Lakers jersey while he's on the beach. And then we get to a...
Dream sequence?
Yeah, obligatory dream sequence. Where he imagines he's playing with the Lakers and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who... It was kind of cool. I like that that he made... he played himself. But yeah, he's like watching the game, he just falls asleep, and he imagines him playing...
With an afro and...
A joke that, depending how you watch it, you'll laugh at or you shake your head at. And then they're also going on about how he's like, from the streets of Harlem, he rose up to become a Lakers great. And then they show him biting a player as he's playing. I'm surprised they didn't call foul on that.
But he's one of the greats.
Yeah, but do we ever get any follow-up to that? No. He just...
It's a dream sequence.
He brings up... I wonder in the sequel if we're going to get, like, a bigger... Lakers. I mean, he's constantly talking about the Lakers. He's a huge Lakers fan. He's in one part where he's talking to Gail about basketball. So... I'm curious if Fletch lives, if basketball is more a focus in that story. And then we cut to another part where you kind of had to clarify this for me because I was a little, not confused, but maybe just not paying full attention to it. He goes back to the beach and he finds the cops arresting one of the kids that lives on the beach.
Gummy was the guy I was thinking of.
Yeah. And... But there's the other guy that with the goatee or whatever.
Yeah.
But he gets him arrested
and he questions, why is this? Well, I threw a rock at their window. Why did they only arrest?
Yeah,
him?
they arrest Gummy. They put him in the car. He throws a rock and it hits the window, and they keep going anyway. But you were saying to me that like, because I was trying to find like what exactly that scene meant, and you were saying like the scene meant that.
Well, we don't know right then what that scene means.
It's suspicion.
It's all suspicion. It leads to him questioning why would they take this guy off the beach, only put him right back on the beach.
Oh, okay.
And why did they not go after me for basically attacking them?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. That's right. Because we do see Gummy later on the beach. It's kind of like. Oh, okay, so we'll explain why. That makes sense now. Okay. See, that's why I like talking out loud. So we get that moment where I feel like this is par for the Fletch movies based on what we saw with Confess Fletch.
So,
that, like, there's always, like, 2 separate things happening. And over time we realize there might be more to both sides. And they might be connected more than we thought.
When that scene happened, I had 2 questions that I wrote down. I was like, is Gummy a police informant? Possibly.
Ooh, interesting.
Or are the cops involved with the drugs? Like, those were things that were going through my mind when that happened. I was like...
Okay, cool. Yeah, and that's how you're able to answer my questions.
Exactly.
Not that I wasn't paying attention, but I was lost in the mystery of it. Let's just say I was like Fletch. And from there... And then after that was the scene where he goes back to the office, right? Does he go to the office and he talks to the editor?
Goes to the office, talks to
his editor,
and says, I think the cops might be involved. And the editor completely disregards him.
Yeah.
He's like, I have my reasons for why I believe this, but I'm not going to pursue it.
Do you think it's because like his editor's like, you don't have enough facts to present with this story that you could say that rare?
But he's like, I also need to go to Utah. And he's like, why? And he's like, the story I'm following goes there.
So it's almost like him going like, hey, here's a little bit of the story you want, and that's enough to hold you over till I can cover the story I really want to follow right now. So then we go to, he goes to Utah, and he makes a joke about like, oh, it's between Wyoming and Nevada. And he's on the plane, and he has a tape recorder, and as he starts playing it, it's a sex recording.
Yeah.
And you're hearing like this banter between him and this woman, and it made me think of Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
Yes.
Because he would record his stuff, and it's like, oh my goodness, he's just like Dennis. But basically, like, he's going to Utah because Gail he discovers sold her stocks
for $3 million.
No, 300,000.
No, it's $3 million.
It was $3 million. Okay. Boy, there's so much numbers in this book.
Yes. Exactly. At least I wrote down.
I wrote some of them down. I missed some of them. And it sold the stocks to buy the ranch.
But the property, we find out when he breaks into the realtor's office, after being chased by a dog,
which I'm going to get into, yeah.
He finds out that the property wasn't what her husband said it was. It was a brush.
Which means what?
It was like a little tree. But he bought it for $3,000.
Oh, and they forged the deed for what it was. So it makes it look like you're buying a house, but really you didn't buy the house. You bought this, and this money could go to something else.
Right.
So he goes to talk to the guy's name is long. Swarthout, and he has another alias, Igor Straczynski. And he's talking to the realtor on the phone. And I also like 80s reference as he's talking on the phone. Yes, he's using a payphone because this is the 80s. On the TV, there's a commercial for Super Mr. Potato Head. Well, I just like seeing those
little 80s details.
Yeah. And very much in an 80s fashion. There's a guard dog, there's a fence, and there's a tree. And he climbs the tree to get over the fence to avoid the guard dog.
He climbs the tree to get over the fence to get into the window to get away from the guard dog, which still didn't work.
Yeah, and it feels like there's nothing a tree and a fence in an 80s movie could stop anybody from doing. You know, it's like if there's a tree, there's always a fence. You'd always find your way over. So he goes in, he breaks into the office, and that's when, like you said, he sees the deed. He realizes that... See, I missed that, because I saw the part where it said the money, but I didn't see what it was buying.
Well, he says later to Gail what it was.
Well, he looks at the deed, and the deed says it's a house.
Well, no, it says it's a...
Oh, there's two pages, right?
There's two pages. Yeah. There was the forged one, and then there was the... Then there was the actual deed.
Oh, because he's giving the money to the realtor can have it and then give it to Stanwyk later on.
Yeah.
Or take it apart. Okay. I noticed the 2 pages. I missed that. This is why I'm happy to have Matt watch the movie with me a lot of the time, because sometimes I miss details like this. And then as he's looking at that, he's taking the pictures, the dog breaks through the window. And I wrote my notes, it's Cerebus. It's like the dog from Helms. It's a strong dog.
It jumps through the window, breaks through it, starts chasing him, opens up doors.
Yes, yeah. And Fletch is trying to escape. He gets in the car, and the dog's on top of the car, and he's taking a picture of the dog.
And the dog says, what?
Well, no, because he says to him, look, defenseless babies. And I'm pretty sure the dog goes, what?
Yeah.
It's not Fletch saying that.
No.
The dog says, what? I know it's... and then after that, he's able to escape. He goes back to L.A., and he's
immediately arrested by dirty cops.
Yeah. They break into his apartment.
Plant drugs on him.
Well, there's the patting him down, and excuse my language, but it's just the line in the movie. But he's like, what have we here? Being the drugs, but he says, my dick. So it's Fletch being a wise guy.
Exactly.
And he goes, no, and he picks up, and it's like a baggie of like cocaine or something, and he's like, you're playing at me. So they take him to the police station, and he sat down and like, what's your name? He goes, Fletch F. Fletcher. That's his full name. But the chief of police knows exactly who he is. Yeah. And I was trying to figure out who the guy playing the chief of police was, and we looked it up, and he's been in a lot of stuff, but he was in one of the James Bond movies, which refreshed my memory. And the chief is just, again, another scene that reminds me of The Big Lebowski, because it's like the scene in The Big Lebowski where after, I know this because I've seen The Big Lebowski so many times, he goes to Jackie Treehorn's house. He's brought to the cops, and it's just the back and forth with the police chief going like, stay out of our business, Lebowski. It's the same thing with Fletch. He's like, we're doing stuff. Stay out of our business. Stop the story.
Kill the story.
Because he's telling him that the chief is saying, well, I have cops undercover on the beach, and I'm trying to protect them because I want to know where these drugs come from. But once again, Fletch, knowing where the story is meant to lead. It's like this
circle doesn't square.
Yeah. So
they bring him to a jail cell and threaten to kill him.
That definitely, like, how did you feel about that scene? Because, like, it definitely, like, raised the stakes and got, like, super dramatic. Like, did you feel like, there's a sequel, he's, like, not going to die, but did you feel like his life really was in danger at that point?
I think a little bit.
And even he saw it, too, because he kind of, like, stopped joking. He got real serious. And even, like, later on, because, like, he's joking, too. He talked about some, like, the off-track betting in the Himalayas. But, yeah, even Fletch later on is like, I almost died. Like, really, like, they would...
And his editor still doesn't believe him.
Yeah. What's to believe Fletch, he's like... But I really like those office scenes with him and the editor and Larry, because I like the interaction. I like the editor kind of, like, waiting for the story, but getting annoyed that he's not getting the story. I like Larry really, like, looking up to Fletch.
Yeah.
Like, she really does kind of, like, he's, like... But maybe
like as a mentor figure.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's more to it too. Because even this one part with like the editor's like Larry, like she had like a guy be brought away. Cause I'm sure she has a crush on him too. But there's this fun interactions. I wish we got more of that. I know like that's not the whole story. It's really about Fletch going on this case, but
yeah.
But there's what makes that character fun is just the people he interacts with and the office that he works in. But then we move on
to
Boyd Aviation.
Yes, where he finds Stanwyk's plane. And
he's in disguise, too.
In disguise.
And what does he have in disguise? He has sideburns and fake teeth. And as I'm looking at him, like, he looks like a live-action version of a King of Hill character.
Yes!
Even the way he was talking, he was like talking with like a drawl a little bit. But it was just kind of like going like, oh, the King of the Hill was in the 80s, and they did like a live-action movie, like...
He looked a bit like
Boomhauer.
Boomhauer, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so funny. He's like, yo man, I got this dang plane. What's going here? But he's joking with the mechanics, and the name he uses is Gordon Libby, another alias. Hope you're keeping track because you get points that probably won't matter. But yeah, keep track of the podcast.
And they're like, oh yeah, I'm not that G Gordon Libby. Yeah. I'm my parents just really liked him.
Yeah. And is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so he's talking to the mechanics, and they kind of like, do you think they suspected that he was lying?
Yeah. Because, I mean, he didn't know what he was talking about.
They're like, oh, well, he opened up, like, the one compartment for the luggage, and then he closes it. And then, like, no, over there. He goes, oh, I know.
I was just checking the luggage.
Yeah. But as he's looking at it, what does he notice?
The fuel?
Yeah. This plane's using a lot of fuel to go to Utah. Like, why would they use it?
Why would they use enough fuel to go to South America?
Yeah, they bring up South America, but then he's like, but he's going to Utah, so why
would he use that much fuel?
Mm-hmm. So at this point, like for me, I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this movie has like a Beverly Hills Cop feel to it, and also like there's a movie called or I'm gonna go to the Big Lebowski too, but there's a movie called The Saint. And it's based on a TV show.
Right.
In the movie, Val Kilmer, he plays as, like, spy. He uses all this disguises. So it made me think of that. Granted, this movie has more disguises in this film than The Saint does. But the whole, it kind of like that mix of the two. But it was interesting. I looked it up, and I was like, because the whole movie, I'm like, it has that Beverly Hills Cop feel. Even the music that has that kind of techno to it. It's a fun score. I liked it. I think it worked from the movie. But I looked it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, Beverly Hills Cop came out the year before. I'm like, I wonder if this was their answer to Beverly Hills Cop. Like, okay, we have the police officer story like this, but now let's do it with the reporter. So, I mean, I feel like there's merit to that.
Maybe.
And then from there, he meets Gail again. And they're at the tennis club. And once again, he's putting money on
the Underhill's bill, but this time it's a lot of money.
Oh, I mean, like it's a good spread. It's like 2 bottles of champagne.
It's 2 bottles of Dom Perignon, caviar, and I forgot what else. It was something else.
It was a lot. And
it was $800 worth.
No, $400.
Or sorry, $400 worth. And that didn't include the $20 tip
that he told them they could put on. Yeah. But it's a funny joke, and especially when... Because I didn't think it would come up this way, where Underhill kind of shows up, and he's knocking on Gail's door, like, I gotta talk to you about this, and I guess that you're putting all this money on my bill. And at least if I'm like, oh, I'm just getting out of the shower. Goes, I'll take your time, no worries. You see, like, moments where, like, I don't know. Do you feel like Fletch is giving Gail the attention that Alan isn't? Because Alan
probably, yeah.
He's literally never around. Like, the only time we see him and Gail in the same room is at the end.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like he's giving her the attention that, like, you know, she really needs and wants. Even if it all started with Fletch just using her to get information. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't think he was ever really, like, I don't know. How did you feel about that? Do you feel like he was kind of using her up to a point and then started to get, like, real emotions? Or
I think he knew where the story was leading, and getting close to her definitely helped. But I also think there was definitely an attraction.
Yeah, because they did seem like they really get along well. And she liked his jokes, even, you know, he always had different aliases. Then
I have to go back 1 second to the aviation when he was like, oh, it's all ball bearings.
Yeah.
It made me think, it's all computer!
From what?
From when Trump was on the White House lawn with the Teslas.
Oh, right.
It's all computer!
Yeah. Yeah, so from there, Fletch kind of like, he says what his real name is. He goes, my name's Irwin Fletcher. And I'm
an investigative reporter.
Yeah, go ahead.
And your husband is a very bad man.
Yeah. And I wonder if Gail suspected that at times too. You know,
and I will give you proof. Give me 24 hours. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I also like too, like, how Chase in this movie, like I said, I feel like this is like I can't say it gives him a lot of range because he changes his mood as Fletch a lot. He can be very jokey and very serious.
Yeah.
And he does that transition really well. Like this scene too, where he's like being matter-of-factly, like it's the first time he's being real with somebody instead of joking about it.
Other than the people at his office.
Yeah. But even there, he's still kind of joking around. Like he doesn't have to be super serious. Basically, he tells her like, your husband, he didn't buy property in Utah. The deed was forged. And he goes, give me like 24 hours to find the truth. And this leads him to following Alan, which I thought that was going to lead to a car chase. He was kind of just following him.
Yeah.
And he sees Alan getting fuel, and I'm like, no car chase. And then the cops find Fletch, and can you clarify this for me? So he follows Alan, he sees he's getting canisters of gasoline, but then he goes to a building. Like, what building was that?
I think he was going to the police station.
He was going to the police station.
Yeah.
And then the cops see Fletch. And
right.
when they're like, oh, no. Sorry. Before that, I jumped ahead. He follows Alan, and on like the highway, he sees him getting into a car, and he's like, oh, he's with the chief of police, and he's getting money.
Yeah.
Why? And then he goes to the cop station.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he follows the chief of police to the cop.
And then the cops see him there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then we get the car chase I really wanted to see.
And it was so much fun.
It was funny, too, because first of all, he sees this kid who's
stealing a car.
Yeah, he has braces, so he's underage. He shouldn't be driving at all. Doesn't have a license. And Fletch is just kind of like lying, like, oh, move over.
I'm a carbon emissions inspector.
Yeah. And then we get the car chase with a song behind it to make it very 80s, which I really like. That made it fun. And it's a fun car chase, too. Because you see, like, he's joking and he's, like, speeding. And, like, who are those? The kid's like, who are those guys? He goes, oh, that's just my police escort for this certain speed limit. And then he's joking to the guy. He's going, like, pull over. He goes, I already did, or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a fun chase. The music made it even more enjoyable. And there's something that never gets old where, like, in these movies where you see, like, the cars and they make the wrong turn, they flip over a little bit, or they go and it's, like, slow motion. The guy's, like, falling off the motorcycle. It's the charm of, like, watching movies of this decade, and that's just the way they made it. And from there, he goes to some luncheon or event hall.
Yeah, they go to a award dinner for...
some guy. I tried to look up what that thing was.
I will tell you what at the end of the movie.
It's a real thing.
No, it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a reference to something else.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the trivia.
Okay, because when I'm watching, I looked up like there's like TRB or something. I'm like, what is that? And I looked it up, and it was like there's like no information on it. But yeah, I also again what's fun about Fletch is he knows how to get information, he knows how to follow the leads, but he also knows how to get in and out of places real well. Like, he goes in the kitchen, and off the bat, like, nobody notices him. He grabs a jacket, he grabs a tray, and he's just able to blend in. He's a fake waiter, and it's leads to a funny scene.
Yeah.
Like,
where he jumps onto the stage and takes...
Well, not even that. Before that, like, he's, like, taking the glass from one table and putting it on the other. It's like, oh, you want more of this? And it's like, okay. And then the cops show up. They follow through the kitchen. And, he steals the spotlight. That's what you're talking about.
He steals the spotlight, and he makes a speech to create a distraction for the cops.
You know, and in a way it works, because he's a writer. He knows how to think on the fly to come up with ideas. So he creates a fake story, which was really funny. We talking about the guy. He goes, "Oh, we know you had syphilis and your wife was alcoholic," and the guy just kind of like, get him. Like, you see like his face, like, get him off the have a talk. And
he's like, but we give our greatest welcome to the police and first responders.
Let's all give them a clap. And the clapping.
Give a clap. Give a round of applause. And touch and grab police officers and show them your praise.
And for no reason at all, he starts singing the national anthem.
Yeah.
He starts singing the Star Spangled Banner, and everybody just starts like standing still. It's like, okay, so when in doubt, just sing the national anthem. Makes everybody stop. So it's that fun chaos. That's what makes this movie really enjoyable. And I think too, like, there wasn't really any scene. Like, each scene really leads into the story. Each follows up on something. And then after he gets out of that,
he goes back to the office, and he's given an 11:30 deadline to get the story, or else he's fired.
It's just a drug story.
The drug story.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll get it, don't worry, you know. And then, is that the part where, like, Larry kind of looks at him, and the other's like, Larry! It's just like, okay. You know, so he runs off.
Yeah, and also he finds out he goes to the airport then.
Well, he goes, I had that. I wrote down about the office scene. Yeah, go ahead.
He then goes to the airport, and he finds out that there's another ticket booked under...
Well, he's posing as Alan at that point. Yeah.
He's posing as Alan, and he finds out that there's another ticket booked.
Why was he... So he went to the airport to go to South America because of the visit to Boyd Aviation, right?
Well, he wanted to know... He wanted to know the details of the ticket that was left for him.
What made him go to the airport again, though? That was just.
I think it was just he was just following up on another thread that he was given.
Okay. There's some things in this movie where, like, it's just, you could just chalk it up to, like, Fletch is just going on a gut feeling or a lead, and that's what leads him to here or there. And then he discovers that, like you said, there's another ticket, and the ticket's for
Sally Kavanaugh,
who lives in Utah, and this makes him go, like, that makes him go back to Utah again. Yeah.
And he finds that Sally's house has been abandoned.
Yeah. I think we jumped ahead. I think the office scene happens after the airport scene, because I have in my notes, needs story by 11:30. But don't get confused if you watch the movie. But yeah, he goes to Sally's house in Utah, and it's decrepit, it's abandoned, not abandoned, it's decrepit, it's dirty, it's messy.
She hasn't been there for a week.
Yeah. And but there's a guy there with a gun.
Yeah. Who shoots at him.
And do you remember what the name he put down was?
I do not.
It was Don Corleone. That was the LA.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, and the guy.
And he makes a reference to The Godfather, Richie, with the whole Fredo and Michael and the Las Vegas casino.
Yeah, and the guy tells him that the landlord told me to watch his house. So they were covering the tracks then. And they're like, and the guy had no idea. He just all he knew was what he was paid to know. That I'm here, make sure nobody comes in the house. And once again, Fletcher's like, okay, I know this one to the story. And,
then he goes to Alan's parents.
Well, before that, I did like, there's a joke where they're like, who are you? He goes, oh, I'm the mattress police. There's some tag.
Oh, yes.
I think that got the biggest laugh out of me.
There's no tags. I'm going to have to arrest you. Or fine you.
Yeah. And then like he's I guess actually I made this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
I'm looking at my notes all over the place. But then he goes to, it's a pig farm that Alan's from. And the alias he uses for that one is...
I don't...
Oh, you didn't write these down?
No.
Harry S. Truman. And the
that was when he makes the comment about how his parents...
I think that was the one more than Gordon Libby's one. Yeah. He's posing as an insurance agent on Alan's parents and trying to get more information. And they say it made it seem like he never really saw his parents, or
no, he sees his parents once a week.
No, but like prior to that, we didn't think they had any communication, right?
Right.
We thought that once he moved to L.A., that was it. He never spoke to his parents.
Right, but we find out that no, that's not the case. Yeah. He's seen them once a week.
Yeah.
With his
actual
wife.
Bum bum bum.
And he's actually married to Sally.
It's been married for 8 years.
Yeah.
I thought there was a good moment too, like afterwards when he goes to Gail and tells her that, like, you know, he's a bigamist.
Yeah.
And he shows a photo and she's like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this." She goes, "What kind of man would love a woman like this?" He's looking at a picture of Sally, and Fletch is like, it's funny, like, because Chase's expression.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, no, well, maybe. Yes. And this, I think that's enough for Gail to go like, oh wow, no, he's a dirtbag. He's lying to me. I know, you were right. And from there we cut back to the beach, and this has the best disguise of the whole movie.
Yes.
Because all the other ones, it's just him kind of like wearing glasses or being in a different outfit, but this one, like, there's more effort put into it, because I'm watching, I'm just like, oh, who's this bum on roller skates?
Shaking his butt.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's maybe just one of the drug dealers on the beach or whatever. And then he meets Gummy.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like, oh, it's me, Fletch. And I was like, wow. Like, it took me, because it doesn't look like Chevy Chase at all. No,
because he's wearing a beard and...
And he has a ball cap on, too. And that's when we get more information. And we find out his suspicions were correct.
Yeah.
That...
But the cops are involved.
The chief is the one supplying the drugs.
The chief is the one supplying the drugs.
And they're getting the drugs from South America.
Yeah. And that Gummy was arrested just so that he could bring the drugs to the beach to give to Fat Sam.
Yeah, so pretty much... Because, they always say in the movie that, like, Fat Sam never leaves his spot. And they're like, how is he able to give out the drugs if he never leaves? If he's always there? And Fat Sam also tells him that, like, oh, they got dirt on me. So I gotta do this, also they're gonna arrest me.
I'm on my third strike. They basically gave me an ultimatum. Run drugs for him or go to jail.
Yeah. And that leads them to go. He brings them to the news office, and he's like, these two guys can break my story. Like, you know, they'll have all the information. They'll help us out. And a nice little sight gag, too, is that Fletch goes into the office, and he steals the chair for somebody else's desk.
Yes.
So when they sit down, they fall on the floor. And he doesn't care. He's just kind of like doing the story. So finally, we are getting the two stories to connect, and I think talking out makes it work better in my mind than it originally did when we first started this conversation. Because I see how the two lines. I kind of still wish we got more of the trips to South America.
Yeah,
just one scene at least to kind of fill in the gap. Because it's part of the story, but I feel like we just never got enough of that to kind of like. I guess maybe it was just meant to be a small detail. And so the two stories connect, and we reach the climax of the film where he goes back to Alan's house. Gail had given him one of Alan's suits.
Right. And Fletch goes to confront Stanwyk.
And he also finds the canisters in the car.
Right.
And
he's like, oh.
And that's a car that he was going to give him to go away. Actually, and then realizing now, when he goes into the office, he's kind of wearing the outfit that Fletch had in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Almost like he was going to take on that identity of whoever Fletch was.
Yeah.
Granted, he'd be running around as Ted Nugent. Because that's the name of the game. Because he doesn't know who Fletch is. And like he goes in, kind of like follow the plan that...
and he's like, here's a letter that's going to be released if I don't show up.
Also remember, like, he said, like, oh, this will be in the drawer, and he opens the drawer, it's empty, and that's when... I think he was looking for the gun, and that's when Stanwyk had the gun in his hand.
Well, he already knew that Stanwyk was planning.
No, I know, but, like, he was just kind of going the motion to kind of, like, I guess, make Stanwyk think that, okay, he's following everything, because he doesn't... Because we only see them interact... in the beginning of the movie, in the end of the movie. Yeah, Fletch has a plan. He wrote a letter/article explaining everything that
happened, and if he dies, this is gonna get released.
Yeah, that he planned to steal the money, Shure's money go to you. Well, I guess he wasn't gonna go to Utah.
No, go to South America.
Yeah. And it's also funny in my notes. I don't know why I kept spelling Utah the whole time. I kept adding an extra H in my notes. But yeah, it kind of was interesting, like, when you see the plan together, like, oh, he wanted to use Fletch to look like Alan, fake his death.
Well, he said that what broke it in his mind was when he was having sex with Alan's wife.
Well, and that's...
her comment is, oh, you have a very similar build to my husband.
Yeah. Well, from the waist.
From the waist up.
Yeah. But it's also like, I guess because it was PG, they can make sure the lights going off, and that was enough to make it show like they were going to sleep together. Yeah, also is funny. Like we mentioned earlier in this review about Dynasty, but like, oh, we're just going to catch the last 10 minutes of Dynasty, and then the police chief shows up, and he's mad that the whole plan's going wrong. So basically, we discover that the plan was Alan
brings the drugs from South America.
But my question is, we never find out what started Alan to get the drugs. I'm guessing he got in trouble with the cops.
I think it's just he's a person who's addicted to being rich, and this is a way to get rich quick.
I'm just curious, like, what started that? What made him go, oh, I can do this and do that?
Well, he's a pilot, and he has the means to do so.
So I feel like there's probably like a missing scene or whatever between him and the chief, or at least some detail that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's basically the drug kingpin.
Yeah, the police chief?
No,
Alan?
Alan is, because he's the one bribing the police chief.
Right. And supplying the money, too. Yeah.
And supplying the drugs.
Yeah.
So, he's the drug kingpin.
And, but they basically, the chief walks in, and he's mad, and they're fighting over money, and the whole plan that they had in place, and the chief shoots Alan. Alan dies. And then, did they just walk out after that? Did they walk out after that? Because what happens to the chief? Because they, I think so. Or like maybe the story broke or something. Because I think that scene just kind of... Does the scene just kind of end after he kills Alan? I thought they stopped him somehow.
I
forget.
I think they just Gail knocked him out.
Right. She picked
up... With the vase.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, that filled in the story gap. Maybe I got hit in the head with a vase, too. That's what I forgot. But, yeah, that's great, thank you.
And then we get the scene where he's giving his expense report to his editor.
Yeah,
and
this much for fake teeth and ball cap? Yeah.
And literally everything in the disguise kit that he had.
So I like that kind of played out, though. It's like, it does come together. And the final scene is
him on the beach with
in Rio with Gail.
Gail, and they're still charging the Underhills.
Yes. And he's like, "Oh, if you want, you can get their credit card number. I'll give it to you." But again, that was I liked that recurring joke. I thought it worked pretty well. And then we get the theme song again, bit by bit. And I like to seeing the credits with like the freeze frame. It reminded me of like an 80s sitcom.
Yeah.
And the credits are playing over it. But yeah, and then that's the whole movie. Story wraps up. Overall thoughts? Like,
I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to check out the sequel.
Me too. This was fun. Like I said, it had kind of like that Beverly Hills Cop vibe to it. Where there's a nice blend of like action, humor, and mystery to it all, and you get a fun lead character who you generally like. Like, there's at no point are you annoyed with Fletch. You're just like, oh, he's like a guy that'd be cool to hang around with. Let Chase brought the character to life well. I thought the cast was really good too.
Oh yeah, they were all great.
Yeah,
from everyone everyone in the cast is great. From Chevy Chase downwards.
Yeah, and like you said, like maybe like we kind of wish that Gene Davis had a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit,
because the two of them were really good together, and I'm expecting more from the two of them. Maybe the movie's a little longer.
Maybe.
But I think this was like the perfect runtime for the movie.
It really was.
It didn't like go too far. Everything like quickly happened. But yeah, if you've been searching for fun 80s comedy with a really solid mystery around it, Fletch is worth checking out.
Yeah.
I would say most of the jokes work. I don't think there's a few references, but I feel like you wouldn't watch them like, what's that? It's just kind of like side gags or just extra detail.
So, going to the trivia for a second.
Okay.
The house at the end of the movie is the house from The Godfather where the guy finds the horse head.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so the guy's Corleone reference actually had a bigger connection like that.
And that thing, the meeting or whatever that he co-opts to escape from the cops. The one he creates the distraction
at. Yeah. So explain that one to me.
It was a reference to Animal House.
Really?
Yeah. The name of the person being honored was a reference to one of the characters in Animal House.
So it's interesting because we looked it up and they said Tim Matheson was in Animal House. So I wonder if that was like a little nod to it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because it's like a post and they had a name. Like I guess the guy was retiring or whatever.
Yeah.
But like everyone wanted to know. But like they had kind of those veteran hats. It wasn't like Shriner's hats or something like that. But I was like kind of like, oh, was he a veteran or whatever? But it didn't really. It's not very important. But I was just trying to get context.
So Chevy Chase was the third option for the character.
Really?
And the author was the one who had final say of who could be the character.
So what were the other two choices?
Mick Jagger.
Oh, that would have been a really weird movie.
And...
really different. I guess it would have been a lot more dancing on the beach and roller skates. Jagger was in.
And Burt Reynolds.
I could see Burt Reynolds, but I could see him like not being as
goofy.
Yeah, like the humor bit a little bit more serious. That would have had like a whole different tone. If he had Burt Reynolds, because I mean he can be funny. Yeah. But I feel like Chase made it lively, and his would have been maybe definitely a different personality.
Did you catch the cap he was wearing on at the end of the movie before he goes to South America?
It wasn't a Lakers cap, was it?
No, it was a cap for the Nostromo.
Oh, was it a nod to Alien?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
It just was.
Oh, this place in the past. This is connected to the Alien movies. Imagine if he broke that story. I'm going to go up to Weyland Yutani. They're doing something weird with these creatures in space. Maybe there's a Fletch in the future of those movies. Who knows? Granted, this is Universal. That's 20th Century Studios. So, but who knows?
I mean, with how everything's being consolidated nowadays.
Would you watch a movie with Fletch versus the aliens?
Why not?
Can I get a story? And then there's spitting blood and like Floyd's starting to disintegrate. He goes, never mind. I got it. I'm good. He's an and but Larry's an android because she's still alive. No, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, those are the most interesting ones, at least.
Yeah. Actually, I think Larry would be more of a Ripley character. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Larry being more of a Ripley, and then like Chevy Chase just being like. Maybe he's he's the android.
Yeah.
He's just walking around the head going like, I gotta get the story. Man, that's neat trivia. Kind of gives more context. But yeah, definitely check out Fletch. If you're, like I said,
it's a very fun, light.
It's an easy watch.
Easy watch, comedy, with some crime thriller elements, but not, it's more of a comedy than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely saying if you like L.A. mysteries with a dash of humor, like Beverly Hills Cop with Lebowski, Fletch definitely fits that bill. Like, I could definitely see like doing a triple feature of like Beverly Hills Cop, Fletch, and Big Lebowski, and
they're all relatively short movies too.
Yeah. So. Check it out. You want to do the sign off?
Let me just give the socials. You can email us, and please do, at franchiseconnectionpodcast@gmail.com. And you can please follow us at _franchise_connection at Instagram.com. That's about it.
Send us questions, suggestions, if you like the episodes.
If you have any movies that or TV shows or anything you would like us to review.
The questions, do we feel like, does this movie need as many sequels as it has, or does this movie should have had more sequels? Like, we're gonna do a whole episode on something of discussion if you're getting tired of us with the reviews, or if there's any film franchises that you think are worth checking out that we might not be aware of. But yeah, they'll just leave it to me and Matt to talk. Be part of the conversation. We love to have some feedback.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you for tuning into a review for Fletch. Come back next time as we see what Fletch's latest news scoop takes him in Fletch Lives. Until franchise fatigue sets in, I'm Matt Fisher.
I'm Matt Sparrow.
For the Franchise Connection. Bye.
Bye.